Factsverse presents. This is the truly disturbing reasons why she'll never use tampons. Before we get into the video, help us spread the word about Factsverse by clicking that like button, and also be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss our future videos. If you're a woman who uses tampons, there's a good chance that you have been warned over and over again of the dangers of toxic shock syndrome. This often occurs when you leave a tampon in for too long. The condition causes you to become very sick, and in severe cases, it can be deadly. Well, this is another story about the dangers of using tampons. However, it has nothing to do with toxic shock syndrome. This is the truly disturbing reason why one woman will never use tampons ever again. Brianna started her period when she was a freshman in high school. Her mother never allowed her to wear tampons. She told her that they took away your purity and your virginity, so she refused to allow her to use them. Instead, she had to wear maxi pads, which her mother called sanitary napkins. Since all of Brianna's friends were using tampons, she often felt different and left out. One day during gym class, the girls took part in a class about menstruation and other things that women need to know. While it wasn't the most interesting class, Brianna was happy about it because it got the entire class out of running for one day. As the teacher wrapped up her lecture, she gave goodie bags to all the students, and the bags contained face wash, deodorant, and tampons. Brianna finally realized that it would be her chance to try tampons. She kept it a secret from her mother, but the next time that she had her period, she used one of those tampons. It felt uncomfortable at first, but her friends told her that it was normal. Next, she started to get itchy down there. She asked her friends if it was due to the tampons, and they told her that no, it wasn't. One of Brianna's friends told her that it could be a yeast infection, so she went to the pharmacy and picked up a box of Monistat. Unfortunately, that did not stop the itching. Soon the itching turned into a sharp pain that wouldn't go away. At this point, Brianna decided that her mother was right and she gave up tampons. Unfortunately, this did not make things any better. Soon after, she began bleeding heavily. She once had light periods that lasted for about 4 days. Now she was bleeding very heavily and she was having severe cramps. She was a bit worried about her health, but she didn't want her mother to know that she'd been using tampons, so she kept the problem to herself. She heard about irregular periods and she assumed that maybe that is what was happening to her. Day after day, the bleeding got heavier and darker. Soon, it no longer looked like blood. It looked more like a black tar substance. This continued for 3 months and she wasn't getting any better. She was afraid to tell her mother, so she let it go. Soon, she was soaking through the pads. They weren't enough. She began using dish towels to soak up the blood. One night, she began getting sharp pains in her legs, belly, and chest. The pain was so bad that she finally had to tell her mother. She could barely get to her mother's room to wake her up, she was so much in pain. When her mother came out of her room, Brianna was on the floor, screaming in pain. When her mother went to her room, she saw that her bed was covered in the black, tarry-looking blood. It was all over her thighs. Her mother rushed her to the emergency room, and when they arrived, the black blood was leaving a trail behind them. The nurse got Brianna into a bed immediately, and they ordered an ultrasound. Brianna wanted nothing more than for the pain to stop. During the ultrasound, Brianna looked up at the tech and saw the horror in her face. She left the room, and the doctors came back. They put something over her nose, and she went to sleep. When Brianna woke up, she found out that the doctors had to perform an emergency hysterectomy. It turned out the problem was that first tampon, but not what you would expect. According to the doctors, there was a tiny spider stuck in the cotton of the tampon. When the tampon became soaked with blood, the spider found its way out and traveled to Brianna's uterus. When it got there, it made a home and started feeding on her blood every month that she had her period. Soon the spider was 8 inches long when stretched. It was a huntsman spider. As the spider got bigger, it caused her insides to become sore and inflamed. Soon she had pelvic inflammatory disease. The damage was so severe, the doctors had to perform a hysterectomy in order to save Brianna's life. Thanks to that tampon, Brianna will never have a period again. Also, there is no chance of her ever having a child on her own. This story is not only horrible, it's also incredibly disturbing. Share the video with others and warn them about the possibility of spiders in their tampons. And subscribe for more.